All right, folks, welcome back. We are going to talk about Sight and Sound Theater's brand new production. If you remember us promoting Jonah, they have another one coming around. They're partnering with Fathom Events to bring it to theaters for 3 nights. That is actually going to begin next week. Seems like it was going to be further off. It is right around the corner. We have a great guest with us now. He's the brand director with them. His name is Dean Sell. Dean, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Brandon, good to be with you. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. We'll talk a little bit about Sights and Sounds Moses.
Yeah, well, for those that don't know anything about Sight and Sound Theaters, we were birthed out of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, which is the heart of Amish country, over 40 years ago, with a real passion and mission to bring Bible stories to life on stage. We ventured to Branson, Missouri about 10 years ago, so we have 2 ginormous theaters at those 2 locations. And last year, we started taking filmed versions of our live productions into movie theaters. And so this year, we're doing it for the second time with the production of Moses.
How many theaters were you able to be in last time, and how many theaters are going to be in this time?
Yeah, last year when we brought Jonah to movie theaters, we were in 625. And we ended up doing it for actually 2 nights. It was billed as a one-night-only event, and then because of demand and interest in it, it extended into 2 nights. So this year, we're in about 100 more theaters, so 735 theaters for the first night and about that many for the second and third night as well.
That's absolutely awesome. That's absolutely awesome. And obviously, folks, we're talking about the biblical story of Moses. Are we going to go through every sort of phase of things from being a baby all the way through the end of his adventure?
Yeah, we would love to, but I think that would probably be like an 8-hour epic. And so, the story of Moses is just massive.
Sure.
And there's just so many parts that we could have told. So our version takes us from the Nile River, where he is a young baby being released by his mother into the river and letting go of her baby boy. And then through the point where he grows up, he leaves Egypt, he goes into the wilderness, he comes back and rescues the Israelites. And so it's from the Nile River all the way to the Red Sea, and then all of the miracles in between.
So, obviously this is an incredible tale. It requires a lot of sort of moving hands and moving parts. So talk about the element of trying to bring what you just described to life with the staging process and the different sets.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing small about Sight and Sounds. These shows are just enormous in their physical size and also in the amount of time and effort and energy that it takes to produce them. So all of our shows take about 4 years from concept to delivery on stage. And so that's from development of the story to design of the set pieces, all of the special effects and technology, all of the costumes. For those that don't know, we also have lots of live animals that are part of our cast and our shows, and so the training of the animals and getting them ready. So it's a long process of design and development. And then it hits the stage, and like I said, we filmed it, and that's what's coming into movie theaters next week.
We're talking with Dean Sell. He is the brand director at Sights and Sounds Theater. They're based out of Branson, Missouri for this. They have state-of-the-art theaters also in Pennsylvania where they originated from, and they are going to be delivering Moses to theaters and cinemas for 3 nights with partnering with Fathom Events that begins on Thursday, September 13th. There's a Saturday show, September 15th, and now there is a September 20th show. So make sure you follow the links on this, and you check out fathomevents.com as well. They have some information there so you can get a ticket. Make sure you plug in for just an amazing presentation. And I know when we saw Jonah, there was just such an amazing sort of emotion that kind of welled up inside my wife and I. We were sitting there just because seeing something so grand brought to life with real players, not a theatrical film or anything like that, just a real personal reenactment of some of these moments and interpretation of Scripture. How do you see audiences responding to that with Moses?
Yeah, I think we hear what you experienced told to us over and over and over again. These stories are not new stories. They've been around for centuries, captivating people. And so our job is not to change the story. Our job is to do the story justice and make sure that they the characters in them are humanized and they become relatable. You know, as much as we get excited about the grand scale of the set pieces and all of the latest state-of-the-art technology, that's not why we're doing this. All of those pieces are just tools for us to help people really connect with the actors, the characters in these stories. And so, you know, these shows are designed to be appropriate for audiences of all ages, whether you're 2 or 92, you know, and we really love seeing families come together, you know, multi-generational families come together. Because, you know, we hear about these stories in church and in Sunday school, and we can read about them in the Bible, but it is very different when they start to come to life on a live stage in a theatrical setting. There's just something really special about experiencing them in that setting.
You also bring some really just another musical talent to the mix here to try to really deliver just a really powerful presentation, and that is with, of course, the veteran Don Harper. He's worked on so many incredible projects for some of the Disney projects and that kind of thing. Talk about bringing Don in and what that does for the presentation.
Yeah, about 95% of everything that we do for the shows are done by Sight and Sound staff, our teams. We have amazingly talented teams here in Lancaster and in Branson. But there are some pieces that we go out of house for, and we partner with outside experts, and music is one of those. You know, we really have a desire to make sure that the music is feeling cinematic and is really working in hand with all of the scenery to bring these stories to life. So Don is an amazing composer, an amazing conductor. We're so thrilled and excited to be able to partner with him. And so it's been a years-long collaboration of working on multiple shows and really, you know, helping him understand who we are and what our audiences are looking for. And so different from a lot of live musical theater, we don't have an orchestra with an orchestra pit. We compose and conduct and record all of the music with live orchestras in advance because a lot of our special effects and technology are actually tied to the music track in the show. And so it has to be precise. And so we use the recorded music during the live performance. But all of the vocals are live coming from the actors on stage.
You will not be disappointed, folks. Make sure you mark your calendar and get out to the cinemas and support this event. Dean, what else is coming from Sight and Sound? Give us a little preview of what's coming maybe next year, the year after.
Yeah, there's a lot happening right now. We have the brand new biblical epic, Jesus, is on stage right now in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It premiered this past March. It's playing through the end of this year. We're taking a little bit of a pause in January and February, and then it's going to come back to the stage for a short run next year from March through October. And then we're going to have our Christmas show back on stage next fall, 2019, called Miracle of Christmas. In Branson right now, we've got the show Samson on stage, which is a massive show where the whole entire temple comes crumbling down over top of the audience. So really excited for that show to be out in the Midwest, and that's running this year. It'll be back next year for a short run as well. And then this fall, we're going to be announcing what is coming to the stage in Lancaster and Branson in 2020. So really excited about this. Brand new show coming to Lancaster. It's been in production for about 2 years now. We've got one more year to go, a year and a half to go before we debut it. And so look for that coming this fall. We'll make that announcement.
Dean Sell, brand director at Sight and Sound Theaters. We will link to everything you need to get a ticket, folks, whether it be Fathom events, beginning next week. So make sure you check out Moses. This is truly, if it's even just half as amazing as Jonah was, it's gonna be spectacular. And it sounds like it's even a bigger grand scale with more amazing things. So you don't want to miss that. Stay with us now as we move closer to the break, and we'll be back.